Hello and welcome back to Singapore Math Course 2A. And we are here on the third subchapter of the first chapter. That's 1.3 Adding Integers. So let's start doing the independent practice for this chapter. What does the first question say? Evaluate each sum using a number line. So basically there are 6 questions of the same format. You have to answer this but using the number line, not directly solve it, okay? So how do we solve this question? So first, our number is minus 3, right? So we'll start here at minus 3. And then it says add minus 9. We are supposed to add minus 9. And when you have negative number, you always count towards the left, okay? And when it's positive, you count towards the right. Remember that. So from 3, that's minus 3, we start counting backward 9, okay? That's minus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So here we are. So the answer is minus 12. So simply write here the answer to be minus 12. That's it. So you were supposed to do it on a number line, right? If you want to confirm your answer, whether you have done it right or not, there's a way to check. Now here in this case, both the numbers are negative. So when you have both numbers negative, you first simply add them. So 9 plus 3, which makes it 12. And since both are negative, you are going to put a negative sign here. And that's how you confirm whether you have done it right or not. Okay, so from minus 3 to 12. This is the jump. Likewise, we have 5 more questions. So the next one is starting at minus 8. So I have it here, minus 8. And then it says minus 4. So we are going to count towards the left side, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Minus 12 is the answer. Yes, both the questions have the same answer, right? And as I said before, you can check 8 and 4. When you add them, it is 12, right? And you're going to put negative sign because both the numbers are negative. So this jump is from here to here. So that's the answer. Do you want to pause and solve the rest of the questions and come back to see? Please do so. In this question, now this is 7, just 7, which means it is positive. So when sign is not there, you have to understand that it's positive. So basically, this is where you start. And it says plus minus 7. So let's start counting towards left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is 0, right? From plus 7, when you go minus 7, 7 steps to the left, this is what happens. Look, both the numbers are same here, right? One is positive and one is negative. So, but obviously, the answer is going to be 0. So, the next we have is minus 9 and 9. Based on the previous question, I'm sure you must have already thought that the answer for this should be 0, right? So, let's confirm it on our number line. So, we have minus 9 here. And because it's positive, right, plus 9, we will go to right side 9, right? So let's start counting here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's where you are, 0, right, as we guessed before. So minus 9 plus 9 is 0. Because it's positive, we went 9 steps towards the right side. So minus 9 plus 9 is 0. Now we start at minus 10 and we are adding 6 to it, right? So we are adding a positive number. So we go towards the right. So plus 6. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the answer is here, which is minus 4. These questions are easy, right? Simple. Again, we start here at minus 17 plus, so we are going towards right side. So let's start counting 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer is minus 8. Okay, so that number line questions, we had 6 and we have done all of them here. So let's move to the next one. Now we have 6 similar questions which says evaluate each sum using the absolute values. Okay, so it is talking about absolute values, and when we have absolute values, we know we put them between this sign, right? So let's do it. Minus 23, right? Plus, and again here, minus 9. So how do we solve this question? So this is how we are writing as absolute values. You simply add both the numbers. You basically do 23 plus 9, which is nothing but 32. Now, what is important here is since both the numbers are negative, you're going to put a negative sign. So, when you were solving, you solved using this method, right? The absolute values. But when you reach your final answer, you have to put the negative sign. Okay, so next two questions you can try and then come back and check if I'm doing it right or not. Here is the next one. How are we going to write this? Minus 11 plus minus 34 in the absolute value format, right? What do we do after that? Yes, we add these numbers. Okay, so 11 plus 34 gives us 45. And what are we supposed to do? Yes, the negative sign from here. And that's the answer, minus 45. Moving to the next one, it's the same type of a question, minus 15 plus, and here minus 7. So basically that's 15 plus 7, which is 22. And since they both are negative, we are going to put a negative sign here. And that's it. So this is how you solve this absolute value questions when both the numbers were negative. Now, the next three questions are also about the absolute value, but here you have one positive number and one negative number. So, how do we solve these questions? Here it says you have to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater one. So, which one is our lesser? This is a smaller number, right? And 18 is a bigger number. So, how do we solve this? We subtract smaller from the bigger. So, we write like this 18, which is a bigger one, minus 12, like this. Yes, this sign that was positive here has become negative here. Okay, so watch out that because we're subtracting smaller number from the bigger number. Then what do we do normally? As we did in the previous questions, we do 18 minus 12, which is 6. Okay, and when you do this, important thing is to put the sign of the bigger number. Now here the bigger number is 18 and it has a minus sign, so we are going to put a minus sign here. So the answer is minus 6. Okay, so moving to the next one, the same type of a question. So we do minus 40 and then minus, right? We said this positive will become negative sign here and 26 here, which is equal to 40 minus 26, which is nothing but 14. And the sign will be of the bigger number, which is minus. And that's it. It's done. Let's move to the next one. Again, we put them in the absolute value format, minus it, and then the next number here, right? Smaller from the bigger, you subtract, which is 75 minus 19, and that is 56. And the sign will be of the bigger number, which is a negative number. And you have done it. So 12 questions are already done. It's going very fast, right? It's pretty simple. Now here it says evaluate each sum. Now we have few more questions of the same type. So let's go step by step. This is something that you could do mentally also, okay? So let's say we go this way first. So minus 8 plus 4 is minus 4, right? You have minus 8 and you give 4 to that, so it becomes minus 4. The next here is plus 5, 1, right? So that's how you can solve it. Or the other way could be, I would write minus 8 as it is, and I take the two positive numbers together. So 4 plus 5 would give me 9. Okay, and that is equal to, again, 1. So either way you go, you're going to get your answer. Okay, so the next question, let me just tell you something important here. Now, do you see there you have two signs here, the same thing here? So how do we solve this? So there's a process for this, there's a rule for this. That is something that we need to understand. So let's write it down. So it's plus times plus, minus times minus. So basically these brackets you read as times, okay? And then you have plus times minus and minus times plus. What's the answer for this? So when you have both same sign like plus plus, the answer is plus. Minus minus, answer is still plus. Okay? But when you have two different signs as you have it here, plus times minus will be minus, and minus times plus will be minus. Okay, and as I said, this part is the brackets that you have there. Okay, let's solve this one, and then maybe you can try the other ones by yourself. So what does this say? How would you simplify this? So it's basically 5, and then there's a plus and a minus sign. So plus and a minus sign, this rule will apply, right? So what does that rule say? It has to be minus. I'm going to write minus 10. Again, you have plus and minus, the same rule. So it is minus 6. So that's how you simplify it. Okay. So either you go this route or like where you solve this first. So it's 5 minus 10 would be minus 5. And then I write my next number. Now both are same sign. So I'm going to add them and the sign is negative. So that's my answer. Or here you say 5 minus. So 10 and 6 both are negative, right? So I put minus and I'm going to add them here. So that's 16. Bigger number minus smaller number gives me 11, and the sign of the bigger number is negative. Okay, so this is how you solve. So to solve this, it's very important that you understand this process. That will help you simplify your expressions. So when it's same, plus times plus, it's plus. When it's negative times negative, it is still plus. When it's either, when it's 1 plus and 1 negative, 1 negative, 1 plus, so that's the time when you have the negative signs. Okay, so be careful with that. Do you understand it? Great. Let's move to the next one. I will keep solving here. You can solve by yourself and let's check our answers together. So here, let's simplify. Minus 6. This becomes plus times minus, right? So that's minus 8. Again, plus times minus. So that is minus 12. Now, do you see all my numbers are negative? So I can simply add them together, okay? So 12 plus 8 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26. So I'm writing 26. And since all of them are negative, I'm going to put a negative sign. And that's how you solve it. Is my answer correct? Okay, the next one. Let's open up the brackets. First, simplify it, right? So minus 13 as it is. Here is the bracket, plus times minus. So we say minus 17, and then you have plus 7 over here. Okay, so how do we solve this? Let's say we keep this minus 13. Now you have to be smart in solving. Okay, there's no one process like you do plus minus together or you do pluses together or minuses together. You just look at your numbers and they'll tell you. Now these numbers are telling me I should solve them first. Okay, so minus 17 plus 7 is minus 10, right? And now both are negative, so I'm going to add them, which is 23 and a negative sign. That's it, and it is done. The next one here. Let's first open up the brackets. So that's minus 20 plus 16, and this is going to be minus 7. Okay, so what's the answer now? Minus 20 plus 16. They're very close numbers, right? So I'm going to solve this first. 20 is greater than 16, so 20 minus 16 will give me 4, and the sign of the greater number, and minus 7. Both are negative, so that becomes 11, and we put a negative sign. It's easy, right? The next one here. So let's simplify. Minus 11 as it is. This becomes minus 8, and then you have 14 here. So I'm going to do this first. I feel that's easier. 11 and 8 both are negative, so I'm going to add, which gives me 19, and I'm going to put a negative sign, and plus 14. So bigger number is 19. You subtract 14 from that, so that's 5, and you put a negative sign because the bigger number has a negative sign. Okay, so this is how you solve this questions. So quickly we did 18 questions. Amazing, right? We are on question 19, and we start with the word problems here, or story problems as you like to say. It says the temperature is minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit. What will the temperature be if the temperature rises 20 degrees Fahrenheit? So here, before we start solving, remember, because most of the times the students get confused here. Do we do plus, minus? How do we decide that, right? So when we say the temperature is rising, what do we mean? It's increasing. Okay, so the temperature is increasing. So if it was, say for example, at 16, now it rose, so it is going to be 20, 25, or whatever. So that is rising. Okay, if it is minus 4, for example, and it's rising, so it can become 0, it can become even from minus 3 to minus 2 is also a rise. Okay, and for the fall it works the other way. So when we say fall, which means it is decreasing. Okay, so say for example, the temperature was 25 and now the temperature is 10. So the temperature has gone down. Okay, or the temperature was at let's say minus 5, and now the temperature is minus 8. So again, it's a fall. The temperature is gone down. Okay, so understanding this is very important. Let's try to put it in a way that helps us solve. It's at minus 4, and now it's rising, it's going up by how much? 20 degree. So you start from minus 4 and you go up, and it should be 16, right? Or we present it in a writing format, some words that guides us. Okay, so let's say at the start, what's the temperature? It's minus 4. What's the rise? How much did it rise? It rose by 20. So what's the new temperature now? So minus 4 and 20, because they don't have the same sign. We'll do minus 4 plus 20, right? So basically 20 minus 4 first you do, which gives us 16, and you put the sign of the larger number, which is positive. So that stays as it is. So it is 16 degrees Fahrenheit's current temperature. Okay, remember to write your units. It's very important. It's given, right? Fahrenheit's here, Fahrenheit's here. So you should also write it in your answer. Units are important. Next one. What does this say? Mr. Clark parked his car in the parking garage 33 feet below street level. Okay, so he is at 33 below street level. He then got in an elevator and went up 88 feet. So he's going up, okay, by how much? 88 feet. And his car was at 33 feet, minus 33, right? So how far above the street level is his office? So where is his office is what you have to locate it, right? So if we write it down, we can say the parking. So that was at minus 33 feet. And how much above did he go? He went up by 88 feet. So where is his office? So bigger number minus smaller number you will do, right? That is 55. This is easy one to do, right? 88 minus 55. So this is the answer. And since this is positive, this will also remain positive, and it is above, right? So of course it's going to be that way. So if you want to do it on the number line, it's basically like you are here at minus 33 and you go like this. You take a jump there, right? So your jump has to be 88 feet. So where does it reach there? So it reaches at 55. So that's how you solve this question. I know sometimes you feel the word problems are very tricky, very difficult, but believe me, they are not. It's just reading them well and putting the information in the format that helps you, like making diagrams, writing some information like this, whatever helps you, try to do that. So you get the idea of how you have to solve it, and the chances are that you will solve it right because you have gathered information right. Now, the next one, we have three more, and then the chapter is done. This one states a hiker starts hiking in Death Valley at an elevation of 143 feet below sea level. Okay, so it's going to be minus 143, right? He climbs up 400 feet, climbs up. So this will stay positive, right? What is his new elevation relative to sea level? So as we did before, we can say like his current position, the first elevation that he is at, right? Which is minus 143 feet. And then he climbs. How much is he climbing? 400 feet. And you find his new position. What is his new position? So it's larger number minus smaller number. So it's 400 minus 143. If you want to do it here, you can do 400 minus 143. So 0, 3 cannot go from 0. You cannot do carry forward. So you make this 3, make it 9 and give 1 here, right? So 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that's the answer. 257 feet. What sign are we going to put? We will not change the sign because the bigger number here is 400, and that's positive. So that's the answer. Or on the number line, if you want, you can do this. Show it on the number line if you're asked to do that. Right? Somewhere here it comes. So how much jump is it? 400. Okay? 2 more to go. Emma was playing a board game with her friends. On her first turn, she moved 6 spaces forward. Okay, so that's plus 6, right? On her second turn, she moved 5 spaces forward. So that's again a positive number 5. On her third turn, she moved 4 spaces backwards. So that's going to be negative. How many squares forward or backward from a starting position was she after her third turn? This is a very simple question, right? So here, on her first turn, she moved 6 spaces forward, right? It's forward. So we are going to make it 6. And we are not going to write a negative. We'll make it positive because it's forward. Another turn, second turn, 5, right? And what does it say? Forward again. So it is positive again. Okay, now here you can put positive, you can not put, it's up to you. It's not necessary, but it's understood that's positive. Then on the third turn, it's 4 spaces, but this time it is backward. So I'm going to put a negative sign. Okay, so this is how you form your equation. So 6 plus 5 is 11, and then you minus 4 from that, and you get 7. So basically that is 7 forward, right? Because the answer is positive. Okay, so that's one of the ways. You can do this on the number line easily because the numbers are really small. So you start on 0, right? Somewhere, let's say 6 is here. So you go 6 forward, first turn, right? And then again on the second turn, you go 5 forward. Okay, so that's the second turn here, and 6 plus 5 would be 11 here. and then you go 4 spaces backward, right? So somewhere here you're going back. That's your third turn, right? So this was plus 6, this was plus 5, and this was minus 4. And that's the number 7 here. So that's how you could do it. And the last question, in a game, all scores with even numbers are recorded positive. Okay, so if it is even, it is recorded as a positive number. Odd numbers are recorded negative. So if you score odd number, it is recorded as a negative number. Explain how to find Diego's total score in a game if his individual scores during the game are. So they've given us the individual scores here. Now, what does this say? Even and odd. So we are going to categorize these numbers first, okay? So let's write here even and let's write here odd. So 9 is an odd number, it comes here. 12 is an even number, it comes here. 7 odd, 18 is even, 19 is odd. So we have 2 evens and 3 odd numbers. And you remember, what does it say? Even is positive and odd is supposed to be recorded as negative. So what do we do to solve this? These are positives, right? So we add them. What does it come to? We'll put them together. So that comes to 30. And these 3 numbers together, the negative ones, the odd ones, they together 9 plus 7 plus 19 because they all are negative. So we are adding them and that comes to 35. But this is going to be a negative one, right? And so what's the answer? This is positive. 30 is positive. So 30 and 35, the difference is 5, right? Larger minus smaller, 35 minus 30. And the sign of the larger number is minus. So that's the answer, minus 5. So that's how you solve this question. Okay. So it was just making sure that you're putting this signs properly and you're able to categorize them. And then you simply add them as you normally do. So that's how we solve this question. And so quickly we have done the whole chapter. Wow, that was really quick. How did you find it? Did you find it easy? You can share your comments, you can ask more questions, and take help from the other students who are following the channel. Thank you very much. Do watch out all other videos and make your math really strong and easy. Goodbye. All the best. Bye bye.